Pentagon official has been charged with running a dogfighting ring and allegedly using jumper cables to execute animals that lost in the fights. So I'm gonna do my best to keep my composure during this story, but the details are horrific, and I wanna also give the audience a warning about that. So the official is 62-year-old Frederick Douglass Moorefield Jr, who serves as, or I should say served, as Deputy Chief Information Officer for Command, Control, and Communications for the Secretary of Defense's Chief Information Officer. There he is, that's the guy in question. Now, he's been charged for participating in the dogfighting ring in the DC area for more than 20 years, which honestly leads me to wonder, what is the vetting process, no pun intended, for Pentagon officials? How did this guy get hired when he's been part of this dogfighting ring for 20 years? So the ring regularly trained dogs for fights, ran thousands of dollars in bets on the outcomes, and executed dogs that didn't die during matches, and that's according to what the court documents state. Now, how was he discovered as someone who was involved in all of this? The investigation into Moorefield, who named his dogfighting business Jihad Kennels, an apparent homophone for jihad, began in 2018 when Arundel County Animal Control discovered the bodies of 2 dogs in plastic bags that included mail addressed to his Arnold, Maryland home, according to a recently sealed affidavit. The dogfighting ring that he ran was operating for several years, at least 2 decades, and thousands of dollars were spent on the violent dog matches. And there's quite a bit of evidence pointing to his involvement here. During a search of his home, an iPhone was found with some messages that incriminate him. We blurred out one of the images, which shows a bloodied carpet, because these dogs have been tortured, obviously. Along with the iPhone found in Moorefield's home, there was also a ton of very brutal evidence. According to the affidavit, the FBI discovered 5 pit bull type dogs kept in small, thick metal cages in a windowless room in the unfinished portion of his basement. The room holding the seized dogs contained items generally used to train dogs for fighting, including weighted collars and heavy metal chains. Investigators also found a device consisting of jumper cables attached to an electrical plug used to execute a dog after losing a fight. And the authorities have put out, photo evidence of the materials that were found in his home, including this one that you'll see. This was released by the US District Court for the District of Maryland. Anyway, I need to take a break from talking about this story. So how about you talk about it?
Yeah, I remember when Michael Vick first got found to be fighting the dogs, which, man, that was such a long time ago now, over 10 years, over a decade ago. Similar stuff, right? It's like a ring, a tournament, some sort of underground scene where people essentially gamble. And the idea being that this is, I think for people that were apologists for Mike Vick, me not being one of them, even and I'm not a dog person like you are, but like just the idea that you would do this as a recreational activity strikes me as backwards. Just this idea that this is their culture. That just doesn't pass muster with me. This seems like a business.
No, it isn't. I mean, it totally is. It's like an underground gambling business.
I think with people at the time, what they were trying to say in a more of a racialized sort of way is that this is how people from black people from certain parts of Virginia, this is their culture. The idea that you fight dogs for sport. Obviously that didn't pass muster with anybody.
No, I don't, by the way, I do not subscribe to that at all, like not even a little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was what, you know.
Trust me, there was a lot of people that was kicking that. It's like, yo, this is where he's from. He's from the country in Virginia. This has been a recreational activity for hundreds of years for those people over there. And so like this idea that Mike Vick is some monster or criminal, yada, yada, yada. I think even Michael Vick, who's done a lot, honestly, to sort of rehab his image and have a better understanding as to why what he did was actually kind of heinous. I mean, I think Michael Vick, even to this day, could tell you like this is just inhumane behavior for anybody to be participating in, much less some Pentagon official or a multimillionaire athlete like Michael Vick was at the time. Obviously, there's laws on the books against this, and this dude should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But it's just incredible that somebody of this guy's stature and position in our damn government would be participating in this type of thing.
Right, like for me, again, I call into question how the Pentagon looks into the backgrounds and does a full background check into the individuals they decide to hire. Now, the Pentagon has confirmed that he is no longer working in this office, so he has been fired, thankfully. And now he's not only facing an investigation, he's facing prosecution for his involvement here. And to your point about like, I don't understand how a guy who's working in the Pentagon is involved in like a dogfighting ring for, again, like more than 2 decades. When you look at the Michael Vick story, at the time, if I'm not mistaken, and if I remember the story correctly, he was like the highest paid NFL player.
He was, yeah, he was up there.
Yeah.
And you know, some people, again, like when you think about some of the excuses they use, his cousin was actually running the ring. And Michael Vick he owned the house that they ran it out of and this, and so he was kind of financing it. It's not like it was happening underneath his nose.
Yeah.
It was something he was acutely aware of. His cousin got popped for another crime and snitched on him. And
Jesus.
Yeah, and so that's why Michael Vick got entangled in that. And what I want to get back to with this Pentagon official and why I think we're so shocked, and I think I've shared this with you in the past, and I think a lot of the culture, the media that we get surrounding military, intelligence officials, crap like the Bourne Identity. Not to say crap, it's a great movie, but you get this image and this picture of CIA agent,
of these
intelligent,
professionals,
hyper competent individuals. In fact, elite individuals of intelligence, of physical strength.
They're a cut above everybody else. Right? Yeah.
It's that's what we get in the culture industries when we get portrayals of these people or books that are written about them, quite frankly. Like we get these people, they're getting dropped into the jungles and then it's like, no, a lot of these cats are schlubs, just regular human beings with some of the same foibles that the rest of them, and maybe they don't deserve a lot of the benefit of the doubt that we foist onto them as our elites.
Now, if convicted, you know, he, by the way, engaged in this with one of his longtime friends. And so if convicted, the two would face a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, according to prosecutors. They are currently out of custody, but remain under supervision. So they were able to, you know, post bail. And so we'll see how the case plays out, but it's just, look, I get that I'm biased because I own a dog. I don't even like to say own a dog. There is a dog in my family. I know that you think it's ridiculous because you're not a dog person.
No, I've come to understand.
We got to take it down because I'm going to start crying thinking about anyone doing anything like that to my dog, which would never happen because Charlie is not, you know, a pit bull or a pit bull looking dog. Usually they use pit bulls to do this. But look, the reason why I bring it up is because when you have a dog in your family, you are very aware of just how intelligent they are and how aware they are of, I mean, just to give you an example, Charlie, like obviously as a dog, he can't read time. But whenever I'm doing the show from home, at around 5:15 local time, he's like, she's wrapping up and it's time for my walk. He starts rolling around on the bed. Like they're so intelligent and they're so cognizant of like the environment around them and what's going on. Like, just thinking about those dogs being tortured, thinking about those dogs being, you know, executed with freaking jumper cables.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I think folks need to understand, like we're not talking about, you know, squashing an ant or a roach who dies instantly upon impact from the bottom of your shoe. Like these animals are going through extreme excruciating pain.
Yep.
And that's why we know what these guys are doing with this dogfighting and then the summarial execution of these people, of these dogs, is just, it's criminal. It's again inhumane.
Also, I mean, what a moron, right? Like,
No.
I'm gonna dispose, God, it's so disgusting. Like, just when I read this detail, I started tearing up, but like disposing of the dog's remains in a plastic bag, but also including your freaking mail in the plastic. You work for the Pentagon? What? I mean, you're so right. I mean, we need to.
It's propaganda. That's what I try to tell people.
It totally is.
When we get these portrayals of the military, like they want us to think that these are just, you always hear when somebody is like, when a company is like the Apple of such and such, right? They want us to think the military product that we produce is the Apple of military products, and that's how they're portrayed in media and in culture. And I think that's why we become so surprised when these people who we assume are part of just the smartest, most capable thing that's ever been produced in the history of America are doing something this stupid and, quite frankly, disgusting.
Disgusting and cruel, definitely.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a Young Turk.